Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elle and the name of the channel is Authentically Elle because we want to be authentic and true to ourselves. Today I want to talk about Selective Outrage from Chris Rock. So as we all know, a year ago Chris Rock was slapped at the Oscar by Will Smith because he made a joke about Jada, and at first, we saw Will Smith smile a little bit, but then after he noticed that his wife was not really happy about it, he got up, walked up the stage, and slapped Chris Rock. Chris Rock did not react. He did his job, hosted the Oscars through the end, and afterwards, it was a huge debate, huge polemics on social media, on television. Everybody was giving their opinion on what happened, why he did that, was it right, was it wrong. A lot of people were very vocal about the fact that he was wrong. A lot of people were also vocal about the fact that Will should have not slapped Chris Rock at the Oscar, and it was a big night for him. So all this took some time. People talk and talk about it. In my opinion, this should have never happened. These are two amazing and talented people. Comedians always pick on people. That's just what they do, that's their job. I can understand that Will noticed that his wife was bothered and he kind of wanted to defend her, but the way you defend has to be proportional to the offense. Chris Rock made a joke. You could have used, I think that Will Smith could have made a joke back as a way of, hey, 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 that's kind of funny, but not really. Like say something back, but not go and hit Chris Rock. So after that incident, Chris Rock did not react. He didn't say anything for a year. And now he released his special on Netflix and it's called Selective Outrage. It's brilliant in my opinion because he speaks on a lot of different things, not just what happened at the Oscar, but the way he presented his show really depicts what is happening currently in our society, where people truly use selective outrage. People pick what they want to be mad about, and they pick what they want to drag people about and what they don't want. It's as if we live now in a society where differences of opinions, the diversity of opinions, is not really a thing anymore, and people only want to follow the main narrative and they don't want to hear anything else that is the main narrative. And Selective Outrage is an amazing title. It's an amazing title, representative of the current society, what is happening on social media, what is happening on TV, and just in the world in general. It has been always known by people that most televisions have a line to follow. There is a specific way things are supposed to go, and we are not bothered or surprised by some of the things that they see. There are channels that are categorized conservative channels, there are channels that are categorized liberal channels, but it all allows a diversity of opinion in a way that everybody can find what they're looking for. But with the surge of social media, we are seeing something very different, where people behind screens think that they can just dictate everything and they can just go with a narrative and it goes viral and everybody just buys into it. And it's very interesting with cancel culture. Is, I think, a result of also selective outrage, because people want to pick what they want to be upset at and what they don't want to be upset at, and therefore when they decide that something is worth being upsetting, everybody must be upset at the same thing. Otherwise you get cancelled or you get taken down or you get dragged. And it's very sad because I believe that human beings have a brain and they have the ability to use their brain and to use also critical thinking to make up their own mind and make their own opinion on a specific subject. And this society, I feel like, doesn't want to allow people to really think anymore. Because if I am outraged at something, how dare you not be outraged at the same thing? So I think that Chris Rock, with his special, not only addressed the situation at the Oscar, but also wanted to really depict what is currently happening in our society, and how, some comedians, they say something, they're dragged on the internet. Everything is being very much scrutinized, and comedians are comedians. They have to do their job. These are jokes. These are meant to make people laugh. You don't have to be happy with everything that they say, but it's still their job. So I'm using all this to kind of come back also to when he addressed what happened at the Oscar. And you could see when he started talking about it that there was still some anger in there. And he was really disappointed, upset, and people were wondering why he didn't react, why he didn't fight back. And I liked how he built up the show, explaining how Will Smith is so much bigger than him, and also it's a big stage, it's the Oscar. What did people expect him to do? Fight in front of people? No, he's not gonna do that. And he also made a point to say at the end that he didn't do that because he has parents. So it also brings up the idea of, even as an adult, you also have a legacy. You also think about your parents, your family in everything that you do. You cannot just act a certain way and think that it's only going to affect you. You come from somewhere. Some people raised you and instilled values in you. So I really appreciate that part when he said that he didn't do anything because he has parents and he was raised. Because truly, I think this is something that needs to be emphasized in today's society. People sometimes they act like there is nothing that made them who they are, in the sense of, you have parents, these parents gave you some values, you have a name that you need to keep, uphold the name, so that when they say this name, people think about, oh, this is a respectful family. The people from this family are, people who do well in life, or these are people who are they have a lot of integrity. These are people that you can trust. We shouldn't just walk around thinking just about me. I think that causes a lot of problem at some point. You also should think about your parents, how they raised you, the culture, the values. And sometimes it's not just your parents, sometimes it's your grandparents, sometimes it's an auntie, sometimes it's an uncle, sometimes it's even a friend that was instrumental in your life, or a mentor. So in everything that you do, you shouldn't just react, but you should also think about all the consequences and all the people who are also looking up to you. So that point that he made about being raised and the fact that he has parents, I think was very important. And I was reading a lot of comments also on social media after his special, and I feel like some people are overlooking things, and I would really like people to focus on the message that he was trying to convey, because I found a lot of interesting gems in that special. But it was so beautifully written and talked about, that I think people didn't really realize. Even when he spoke about the abortion part, and he was like joking about how he would just drive these women and get it done. Why are we not having more men who take responsibility? I think we need to raise a next generation of men who are not afraid to take responsibility when they are faced with an unplanned pregnancy. It shouldn't be that easy that a man can just drive a woman to a clinic and just get it done. In some cultures, if you get a woman pregnant, you have to marry her. I think the fact that there is no more real consequences for the men make it easy for men sometimes to just not think about, okay, let him sit down and think how he's going to take care of that pregnancy and how he's going to take care of that mom. So I think it's also, to me, when he was talking about it, I was seeing it as a way of, let's raise a generation of men who want to take responsibility, and hopefully that will help with not having some men thinking that I can just drive her and just pay for it, and that's it. I have a feeling, I'm not sure, I just have a feeling that sometimes some women would love to keep the baby, but because of many different situations they cannot do that. But if we have a generation of men who are raised in a way that they have to be responsible, they have to take care of their children, they have to be there and do everything right, I think maybe it's gonna help a little bit with, you know, women just struggling on their own when they found themselves pregnant. So this, I just wanted to come here and kind of talk a little bit about everything that was happening in that special from Chris Rock. I think the fact that he waited to respond was really smart of him, because hey, if you cannot hit back, if you don't want to fight in front of people and you don't want to sue the person, how do you take advantage of this situation? How do you make a bad situation turn around and become a positive situation? And I think that's really what Chris Rock did. He took the time to digest everything that happened and came back and said, okay, I'm going to do a special and I'm going to use this special to address what happened. And it is so beautiful because everything is tied up. He was at the Oscar doing his job, and while doing his job, he was slapped. I don't know if it can be considered an assault. I don't think so, or maybe it is, I'm not sure. But anyways, he was doing his job, and while doing his job, he was slapped by a man. He couldn't react. He kept doing his job. He pulled away for some time to you know, recoup, think about it, strategize, and then he's coming back to address the situation while doing what? Doing his job, which is what? Being a comedian. So I think it was beautifully done. I think he really is showing people the power of self-control. You really need to have a lot of self-control to not react, and really Chris Rock has a lot of self-control for not reacting, for taking his time to think and reflect and digest before addressing the situation, for not going on any media to address the situation, but to do it while doing what he's good at, which is comedy, and what he's been known for many years. I think it was perfectly done, perfectly planned or not, I don't know, but kudos to you, Chris Rock. And really, I invite everybody to take some lessons from the special and not just focus on what he was saying about the Oscar situation. There are a lot of little things in that special that you can really reflect upon. All right, this is my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.